What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer doing the deck profile for Suship today and a little bit of bonus gameplay on top of that. This deck is pretty interesting. It's definitely not the greatest thing in the world, but I do think it's a pretty good version of Suship, whatever that means. The replays, it's basically just me making a few mistakes here and there. A few nuanced things that if you just picked up the deck, you might not know, so I thought it'd be good to showcase those. But we'll go on to the deck profile here, onto the Sushi stuff. You're obviously running 3 of the Gunkan Suship Shari because you want this in your hand. Like, you really need it. In fact, you're searching it out a lot of the times. Although Painful Decision is so good now because of the new Gunkan Suship Shari, although it's called Gunkan Suship Aka Shari. But it always counts as it, which is the most important thing. So you have 6 copies of this, 9 copies really, that you want in your hand, which is the best thing in the world. This is like a free special summon. This is a good extender, for your Utopia combos. And yeah, so definitely pretty good lineup here. This deck isn't playable without Akashari, in my opinion. This is Gunkan Suship Uni. So this is the 5, which can turn itself into a 4, which is really important. And it also searches out your Gunkan Suship Akashari, which is awesome. 3 of the Suship Shiru. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say this, but it's a free special summon, which is pretty cool. You get to stack on top of your deck, so it pairs well with Ikura, which you're also running at 3 because you get to excavate the top 3. Sometimes you get lucky enough to blind the Ikura, and you get a copy of one of these in your hand. So technically there are 6 copies if you were to blind it like out of nowhere. So sometimes it does come up, but obviously these 2 are meant to be kind of used in tandem. Can't wait until there's like a real searcher for these monsters. There's no spell card that searches these at all. I think eventually that'll happen because I feel like every archetype eventually does, and it's going to be really important when it does because it's going to change like all the ratios of this deck. Rescue Rabbit, it's a high risk, high reward kind of card. You kind of dip on everything for it. I run a couple copies of Crossout Designator, so it is worth playing. I mean, you just kind of have to. It just gives you access to 2 Suship. It gives you 2 rank 4s. You only need 3 to go to the full combo, quote unquote. And that's just kind of how it works. Pegasus Twin Saber here. This is the 1 copy. This is technically the only real super brick of the deck. You do not want to draw this card. But it is part of your Monster Negate package. So Ascended Sage is actually really not a brick, and the reason for that is it's a free special summon in a 4. So at the end of the day, you want to strip out like what this deck really means. It's just a rank 4 deck, so maybe not the best one in the world, but it's pretty interesting. So if you see this, I mean, it doesn't work with Unexpected Die, unfortunately, but other than that, like, yeah, like this is a good card. You normally special summon it out from the deck, but if you see it in your opening, even just normal summoning, this is not bad. In fact, it probably does a lot more for you. Onto the hand trap lineup, there are 9, so 2 Ash, 1 Ghost Ogre, 2 Droll and Lockbird, 1 Effect Veiler, 1 Nibiru, and 2 Infinite Impermanence. So obviously these are all cross-out designator targets, and I do run Double or Nothing. There's a replay I'll show you where I win the duel with Double or Nothing, but I guess probably the smarter thing to do would just be to run another cross-out designator. I don't know. That can kind of be like your personal opinion. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how I play it. I do like to have a Double or Nothing because it can just sneak you and win duels. It can plus you a little bit to dig into your deck. But it's not the most important thing in the world, and probably, again, something that you want to have the 3rd copy of Crossout. The 1 Called by the Grave, again, this is a combo deck, so you have to run these as much as possible. 3 Unexpected Die, just to be able to get this out in the field. Technically, it is better from your hand, but you do like need to have this name on the board. Like, you need to have this in rotation somehow, some way, because these can special summon themselves and all that good stuff. 3 Painful Decisions. So the cool thing is that you can dump the vanilla, so the Gunkan Suship, but you can also search this out too. So even though this only searches out like normal monsters normally, it doesn't actually. It searches out effect monsters too. So you do have a searcher, but it would be better if there's a Suship searcher that maybe does a little bit more, because the field spell unfortunately does not do that. And it also kind of sucks because having these in the graveyard doesn't do anything. Like, your graveyard is completely useless in this deck, which kind of stinks, but yeah. The Rank Up Magic Utopia Force, this card is super, super good. Again, if you draw this, not the end of the world either. I mean, it just helps you like cut through, and you don't have to search as much. You don't even have to go into the Ascended Sage, which is awesome. And I talked about Double or Nothing. Going on into the extra deck here, Zeus, the 1 copy. I took out I always forget the name of it, but it's a 5 that you get to overlay on rank 5 or 6 monsters. in favor of Abyss Dweller, because if you overextend, or not overextend, if you have the extra extenders, like here's the thing, like the end board with Utopia gives you 2 monster negates and a spell negate, but you don't cover anything from the graveyard. Really, the only thing that's going to be left, theoretically, is your opponent's hand. I mean, you could also go into Tornado Dragon, which might be good too, but depending on the matchup, I feel like Abyss Dweller is like a little more important than maybe having 2 Zeuses, because the other like piece of the puzzle is that like normally you have a very full board, or at least that's what you're trying to do. So Zeus isn't always the greatest thing in the world. It's kind of a last case scenario. This could be that too if you feel like 2 pop Zeus is more important, because the extra deck space is pretty tight. Not to be honest with you, and that's what I cut. You definitely need the 2 Suships because they actually help you go very easily into Utopic Future. Because some like during your regular combos, you're going into the Sage, and then this can just turn into the 4 basically, which is pretty good. This also protects your combos going second as well. It just negates face-up cards, so basically anything your opponent activates on the field: spell cards, trap cards, monster effects, all that good stuff. Number 99, this card is awesome. I love this card. Number 38 is part of the combos there. I talked about the Gunkan Suship Uni class Super Dreadnought. That is the 5. Pretty decent card. It's a draw one as well. 2,900 attack. If it was at 3,000, it'd be super sick. But you can also attack directly, so it works pretty well with Zeus. Probably the best card that does. Number S39 Utopia Prime. I don't think you'll ever use this effect, but it does help you basically have 2 materials for number 99. That's what it's used for. Number 39 Utopia, the other Gunkan Suship Ikura class Dreadnought. Tornado Dragon, ZS Utopic Sage, Castel. I mean, this is another card that you could probably drop for the one that you can overlay in a 5, but this is actually a really, really, really important card when you're playing against Flu Under Ease. It can make a really big difference, so... basically what you can do is just special summon this in defense position, flip back their Empin, and then it's at 1,500 defense. I mean, it's a decent card. Sometimes you need a win to be able to go over the barrier statue, and then there's a whole other like heap of stuff that you can do otherwise, right? So I like to play this card. Abyss Dweller, like I talked about, number 39 Utopia double. Number F0 Utopic Draco Future, and then number F0 Utopic Future. Onto the side deck, I like to focus more on going first. It's kind of been a big thing for me because I feel like it's going to win you more duels, to be honest with you. And there really isn't that much space for anything else in the side. You're not taking any of these things out because you need Cross-Eyed Designator, right? Cosmic Cyclone at 3. I like to run 3-dimensional barrier. This is like super, super good against... against a lot of decks. I mean, there's really, Drytron, I guess you want to like go there, but no one's playing Drytron anymore, but lots of Synchro decks out there, like Tenyi Sword Soul. I mean, any deck that can give you an auto win, I'm like totally for. Trap Eldritch, I'm pretty sure is going to be like the most popular thing. It just got second place at the YCS. I was watching that a little bit today. So I do like Royal Decree, and then Anti-Spell Fragrance, I feel like it's a must for any side deck right now. It's just so important, and you'll see why in a second. And there's also Harpy's Feather Duster, just as the one-up, because I don't have a full side deck. The side deck is not really my expertise when it comes to these deck profiles. I guess this could be Lightning Storm or something. It's kind of up to you. Whatever you think is like super important. Maybe Token Collector. I mean, that might be a decent target too. But I don't know. I don't think these combo decks just don't go very far in these tournaments. They're like super high impact, and they obviously create better end boards. But these mid-range decks that just are consistent seem to top more often. So I don't know. I'm kind of against these crazy like niche hand traps and stuff. But I guess maybe Token Collector wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Okay, we'll go over the few replays that I collected today. Here's a match against Amazonas, I suppose, because why not? I don't really know why the pictures aren't showing up for me, but they must be the new ones. Not plenty of hand traps. You have 9, which is like kind of like lower standard. And when you're playing a deck like this, I mean, what are you going to do? Okay, so he's going to go into... he also runs this little package of Kaiser the Hidden Stars, and there's a lot of stuff here. I guess this is like the star archetype. It lets you fusion summon during your opponent's turn, but yeah. I have all 3 of the Sushis out, which is kind of neat. I'm going to go ahead and grab some off the top. I was lucky enough, like I said, every once in a while you will. And I'm just going to go ahead and go full combo here. I may not even have to. We'll see. This doesn't actually do anything other than like when it's battled, so it's just useless. It doesn't even like redirect battles, and I think this is really where I just kind of wanted to show this. So ends up being a 4. It can go into Castel. Castel can flip the pendulum back because it has that effect, but the duel's over at this point. But I just wanted to show like some of this stuff, I guess, that you can go into, Utopic Future pretty easily. And this is where I run double or nothing. Like the duel is over, so I was able to play around that. This is the other one against the Amazonas deck. Set and pass, pretty funny. So I can just hit Cosmic Cyclone here. And this is what I was talking about, how this is like actually a pretty decent play starter. If you draw, it's not the end of the world at all. And I can go ahead and go into number 39 there. I can grab double or nothing, as well as the rank up spell, so lots of plussing here. Go into S39, go into the big boy, number 99. Go into Leo Utopia right here. And I have my kind of negate set up. I wasn't going to be able to go for game anyways at this point, and then I can go for another one here. This is like very standard stuff. This is like the bread and butter combo for the deck, which is really the bread and butter combo for everything else. I don't really know if this is actually the right decision. I know they run trap cards, so that's like, in my mind, I'm thinking maybe I should save the Cosmic Cyclone, but I guess in reality I probably should have saved this for like the fusion spell. He did have to hard open it because I do have, the Utopia Ray to stop him from like finding that fusion spell, but yeah. Didn't have any cards left, so I used the last negate there. I think this is all kind of for style. I can go ahead and make that a 5. I can search out another Gunkan Suship Akashari, and then I can negate this face-up card. Now, it doesn't matter, and this is the card that I end up dropping. I did get piercing battle damage. Actually, I don't think it made a difference, but because this can go into a double Zeus. But this is kind of like the duel I was thinking about, like why I kind of dropped it, because like, okay, like you have so much board presence, like you really don't want to wipe your whole board after that, right? This is against Hero. Kind of interesting. Rescue Rabbit can go ahead and special summon. So the cool thing about this is actually you use a lot of cards from your deck like during this combo. So if you do end up going into like later on your Akasharis, there's some like really cool stuff that you can do. Like there's a lot of better cards that you can draw into. That's what I should say. In this case, like I have like the best case scenario or the best answer for this, like the best example, whatever you want to call it. So I'm searching like a lot during this turn. I went like 11 cards deep. So I do get that extra draw, and it ends up being Anti-Spell Fragrance. So this is obviously full combo, and that's what I was talking about, how good this card is when it comes to Suship and the extra flavor that they add to it. Because I was able to special summon from the deck, which is a good thing. Draw one card, which ended up being Anti-Spell Fragrance, and also just give myself a free rank 4 to give myself the other end of the number F0 that I needed. He does like negate everything during like this turn, but it's like, okay, he only has like 1 card left, and I'll just go ahead and negate that. He does get over Utopia Ray, which is kind of sucky. Oh, and I think I also messed up in this because during my initial combo, I should have gone into Hope Harbinger too, so that was kind of a mess up by me as well. But it didn't really matter. I wanted to show that part of it more than me messing up, because I did mess up in the beginning of that combo. I do draw into another card. It's an Effect Veiler. I can go ahead and pop the back row. It's Lightning Storm, but yeah. So a couple things there. I wanted to show this off, and I wanted to show that you got to be careful. If you can't search double or nothing, you can't rank up. So that's where I messed up there, because I already had it in my hand, or it was either one of the other ones of like I already had the rank up spell or something. But you sometimes you can just go straight into Utopia and then overlay. That gives you 4 materials too. This is against Mathmech. It was a pretty interesting duel. Couple of Effect Veilers. He actually messes up here, like really badly. He has a pretty bricky hand as well. So I'm kind of curious. So he goes to do the Effect Veiler on number 39, but I guess he's kind of scared of me going into more rank 4s, thinking it was kind of the same. But that was a big mistake, because I actually didn't even have a target for this, because I hard drew the last copy of Suship Shari. So this is also going to go into Hope Harbinger as well, and I'm sitting pretty good. Sometimes I like to play around Lightning Storm, but I don't know. I mean, you can, but I can't obviously use this for like generic spells. But considering I was playing Mathmech, I didn't really think he had anything. And I'll go ahead and negate that, and he ends up scooping. But yeah, one more duel. This is against a water-based deck. Kind of interesting. Like, this is once again just really kind of I'd say this is like in a rating of like 10. It's like a 6.5 out of 10 in terms of consistency, which is pretty much all you can ask for. I mean, you do have access to everything from your deck at all at once. When you get to like Utopic stage, you don't have to hard draw anything. You just need 3 rank 4s in the deck, which is worth something. So I get a couple searches here. Obviously, lots of cool pluses. And I think this is, again, I can kind of do that full combo where I get into the extra rank 4, which is really important. And that's probably, I probably should have showed this first because this is like the real way to do the combo and I didn't make a mistake. Although, oh, this was, okay, so this is why I remember why I showed this duel now, because this is before I took out the rank 4 Suship thinking I didn't need it anymore. But obviously, I could have easily have just special summoned this, gone into the 4, drawn a card, which would have been, I guess, Ikuru, which is just kind of decent. But more than anything, it would have given me a 4, so I can go into F0. So that's really the duel why I did this. This is why I dropped the Gaia Dragon from the deck. So there you go. You can kind of see that. Called by the Grave is for the combos. We didn't have any hand traps, which is kind of cool. I can redirect this attack, which is, I don't know, maybe people forget that this effect even exists. But I can actually just probably go into the battle phase. He did have Solemn Strike, but it doesn't really matter, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that was the deck profile and a little bit of extra gameplay. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.